Welcome to Geek Out SA. How's it going, everybody? You might want to. Yeah, go ahead and mute yourself, so I don't hear myself in the background. We have a new producer today, Colleen. Thanks for helping out, my lovely wife. So yeah, we had a lot going on over the weekend. San Japan. What's up? What's up? I wasn't there, so y'all gotta tell me about it. What's going on there?
Well, you probably saw more of that than I did.
Tell me the truth, too.
Can you see the bags under my eyes?
Oh, actually, before I get into that, I'd like to welcome our guest, Oscar Gonzalez from the Original Gamer. Sorry, for OriginalGamer.com. You should definitely go check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and he's really, really awesome. He's the editor-in-chief there. Mm-hmm. Chief and editor.
Editor-in-chief of Original-Gamer.com. There you go.
Yeah, something like that.
He can introduce himself.
You're a good guy. You party, and I like you.
That's what I do.
So tell me what happened at San Japan, because I missed it all, because I've heard some things and I want to know if they're the truth.
What did you hear?
I just some things. I'll confirm them when you tell me.
All those rumors about me and mimes and elevators are patently unprovable.
Wait,
okay,
was he really there?
I don't think so.
Was really there? Because he wasn't there.
I didn't see him, no.
I didn't see him either. I was about to say, that bastard. No, Pablo was there. Anyway, okay. San Japan. So, the first thing on there was I didn't go to. Did you go to the cosplay contest? I don't even know what happened at the cosplay contest.
No,
nope.
I pretty much wasn't away from game tables.
I can give you a run through of the cosplays. No, I can't. Okay. And
there goes that.
No,
I didn't even take any pictures. It was so busy. Okay, so there was a 10th Doctor, which was amazing. I have a picture with him I'll be posting later. And there was a TARDIS there. Those are only two things I remember.
You know, that entire weekend, I never got my picture with the TARDIS. Can you believe this? I know.
That's weak, dude.
I know.
Well, they had an awesome thing going on where there was the Doctor Who fans unite. They had the TARDIS there, and if you wanted to take a picture inside, all you had to do was donate $5 or blood donation. I chose not to do the blood donation, so I just gave $5. But you had to take pictures as many times as you want. There was even a little David Tennant cardboard cutout inside. I was like, that's adorable. I don't really know what else was there. I don't remember.
Hey, Oscar, were you able to see any of the costume contest?
No. Me, myself, one of my writers and I, we went to the game room, the video game room, and that's where we stayed. We had a table there where we're recruiting new writers. We're giving away some games, and we hung out there pretty much till like 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday till 5 o'clock because we had a panel, which was an interesting story. I'll tell that in a little bit. I'll let everybody, say their spiel.
Oh, yeah. What else happened there? Okay. Well,
how many people and attendees did they have there?
Just over 11,000 is the official number.
Yeah.
I mean, did that change much from last year? Because it doesn't sound anymore.
That's up about
last year.
About 1,500. Because I think their official number was just over 9,000 last year.
We were talking about this in the crew, and we think that San Japan in a few years might be that of close to Akon. It's getting pretty high up there.
How big is Akon?
It's huge. I don't know. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of people with a really nice hotel, and I took pictures in it, and that's about all. I'm not really good at this recounting stuff that I didn't pay attention to. I didn't take pictures. I can't believe I didn't take pictures. I can usually.
I only saw like one or two of you, so I don't know what was going on with that.
Oh.
Usually take like 100 of them.
I don't take pictures. Well,
People have to take pictures of you.
Well, the problem is like because we premiere. Okay, this is the problem. The reason why I don't remember anything from this particular convention was because we were just so utterly busy. We had like I told Vince this before, was we had 5 panels throughout the entire con weekend, and they were pretty long panels at that. And then we also premiered a major cosplay on Saturday. So I couldn't even see, much less walk around. We didn't even look through the vendor room until Sunday. But we did Steampunk Wonderland, and also 2 of our crew members premiered their Game of Thrones cosplays, Jon Snow and Daenerys, and those worked out. They were all fabulous, all of them. Yeah, so we spend a lot of time sewing in the room, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until 5 p.m. And then panels, and so that's all I remember about the con. So.
Mike, how'd it go for you?
It went.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
It was a bit of a disappointment for me personally. Nothing really against the convention. It's just how it worked out for us that day. We ran the city tournament, the city championship tournament, the first ever sanctioned KET tournament in history, and we're excited about that. But last year, where we played somewhere between 300 to 500 games of KET in a 5-hour period, we had about 24 people through our door this year.
But they put you off in like a completely different place than you were last year, though, right?
Yeah, we were in the meeting room 101 of the convention center. And pretty much the traffic there was you had to already be on the way to the ballroom to kind of know we were back there. So I mean, it was a nice room. It was a very nice room, but it just we weren't going to catch traffic, and that's kind of what we needed. I got a lot of messages after the con saying, "We were looking for you guys and never found you." Well,
yeah, they should have just left you where you were in the gaming area, because apparently there wasn't anything happening there anyway.
Yeah, but we did manage to get enough to fill our brackets. We managed to get our first, second, and third place winners. So we were actually able to run a tournament, however tiny. And all 3 of those are going to move on to the state championships at ChimeraCon 2014.
ChimeraCon! You need to
go! So we're looking forward to that. We did get to see it. There were cool costumes. I got to see a couple people there that I haven't seen in many years. That was kind of cool. Not half the people that we were looking for or that were looking for us, but that's just kind of how everything worked out. So yeah, all in all, there's probably some organizational things that could be different, and I think will be. It's just kind of, like I said, as much as anything else, it's just how it worked out for us this weekend. Overall, I didn't hear any real complaints from anybody about the convention, but being gamers, and being tabletop gamers, we were kind of outside the gestalt of the convention. So.
Oh, so Vivian, there's some.
Oh, my news.
Yeah,
yes.
You have some news.
So, we did our Steampunk Wonderland on Saturday, and okay, I want to point this out. We were not there, so I was really upset about this. But what happened was the Mad Hatter and our oh shoot, did I just forget what he was? Oh, he was the Caterpillar. He was the Caterpillar. He's been planning it for so long. They've been together for like 2 years, been living together, and they're just adorable. And apparently he popped the question, and she said yes. So that was really sweet. And so she was a bawling mess when she got to the tavern finally. But it was really cool. So like the whole tavern was celebrating them. And the Tavern of Spoken Word, it's an open mic jam that we hold every year at San Japan. So.
What is it?
Yeah, it was really cool. Huh?
What's the open mic jam?
Poetry jam. Poetry. We did short stories, songs, whatever. It's pretty much like bring any talent, any writings, musings, whatever you have to the table.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was. We had a much bigger room this year. Mm-hmm. And nobody really came. This was probably our least popular panel, and it was our most popular panel last year. So it was really surprising, but it was also had pretty bad timing. I think that the cosplay contest and the it ran over it, and so we probably had about 20 people. Most of my panels though throughout the weekend was like multicultural steampunk advanced, and social issues went really well. Social issues the best, and our story writing went well. They had big rooms. I just, I was hoping for a bigger turnout, but I guess it's just because, trying to, I don't know, allocate that particular crowd over in the directions where our panels were being held. It's similar to Mike's situation.
They need better signage.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah, I saw Pros. He posted on the forums that he finally realized why other cons have a director of signage this year.
Oh my God! You should. Never mind. I'll get to it later. Go ahead. Tell me about San Japan.
All right. Well, let me tell you my story. So,
okay.
I was in the video game room. We last year we were at the convention alley with everybody else, you guys, and I was talked to Pros this year. Convention manager, whatever. He said, "Hey, look at the game room," and I said, "All right, that's a lot of room. Hey, can I put my table there?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, because it works." It's all the video game people that want to come by. We were right there showing off the games that we're going to give away, trying to get people to write for the site. So it works out great. And we had people flowing through. So I said, 6 o'clock, we'll cut it. And then Saturday I had a big kind of special last-minute presentation. There's a game that came out yesterday that I got early on Friday, and it's a game called Dive Kick. It's a 2-button fighting game, and it's kind of a quirky sort of a game, and it has a lot of inside jokes. And I got it on Friday, and I said, hey, I'll bring it on Saturday. So Saturday I brought it in. They had a little tournament. It's run by Critical Hit Gaming. Then I did again signed up people for the website, gave away a game, and then I had my panel that was supposed to start at 6 o'clock. But things tend to happen. So, all right. The story is that we gave away our final game at 5 o'clock. We headed over to the panel. It was panel room 01 in the convention center. So what I was told, it was a 600 seat panel. We go down there, 5:15, and before us is San Japan Idol. And I talked to the door person, like, hey, we're here, we're going to set up. He's like, sure, but they started up late, technical difficulties. They said they're going to run a little bit late. I said, no problem, it happens. There's 5:30 is their stoppage, and then 30-minute setup, and then we start at 6. 5:45 comes around, they're still singing. They're still there singing. And I was just, oh boy. And the new door person comes in. There's the lieutenant of the door people comes in, and I say, hey, you got the power, go tell them what's up. And they're kind of over, and he goes over there, he comes back, sheepishly says, they're not gonna be done until they're done.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, and then I'm looking in, and they're still singing, and at 6 o'clock, and they're still singing. So I say to my guys, we're just going to stand there inside so that they know we're waiting. 6:10, we stand inside, and they're saying, oh, yeah, we're almost done. They give away their awards. They do, like, this little drum roll, and they have, like, little last-minute speeches for people. And at 6:15, finally, they're done.
Wow.
So we had to get everything in order. We had to set up, and it was kind of, we were setting up, and she was like, whoever was handling it, she was apologizing. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay, it's great. And then there's still people there kind of talking. I'm like, can y'all just get out? Because we need everybody out. And they were still, okay, we'll be out. And they were still talking, and then we set up, and they're still there, and she's still apologizing. I'm like, okay, that's great. Hey, thanks. Out now. Out. Panel starts at about 6:25. We filled up about half the room, so that's about 200 to 300, which was great for us. From what I said, I already enjoyed it. The funny thing about our panel, it's video game Jeopardy, so it's just like Jeopardy. We have video game questions. We keep it on a kind of a we keep it on a sort of beginner level, because we know we're at an anime con. We don't need to say, like, what does Nintendo mean in Japanese? You know, we don't need to do that because a lot of people are not going to know. So we keep it at a beginner level, just like who's Nintendo's mascot that's a plumber? Mario. Hey, there you go. We try to keep it on that level, and we get people in, but it just so happens that the 3 people that were randomly selected were the 3 people that didn't know anything about video games. But the way my panel is set up is that, unlike other Jeopardy panels, like for anime and whatnot, our panel has it to where the audience can participate. So when the contestants don't know what's going on, I ask the audience, and people in the audience can win prizes. So contestants win prizes, audience can win prizes, because I know how it feels when you're in the audience and someone doesn't know the answer and you just want to scream it out.
So you mentioned something. What does Nintendo mean in Japanese?
It basically means a way to the heavens.
Ah.
Yeah. It's like a loose translation of that, but it's a way to the heavens.
See, now I know when you're gonna get into the hardcore. I got an answer to the question, or question to the answer.
Yeah, but we have a lot of potential questions, but we just know it'll be a little bit too difficult. The last funny thing about the video game Jeopardy, because we went late, 7 o'clock is sort of like the good time for panel-wise at a con. I mean, naturally. So people had to leave at about a little bit before 7 so they could get to their next panel so they could, enjoy their convention. And the player number 3 had to leave. His girlfriend or whatever came by and said, we got to go. So he had to leave, and I had to get a replacement contestant. So I got the guy with the most I give away tickets to the audience member that answered the most questions. I told him, hey, you want in? You want in? And all right, you're negative 900. Now you got to try to win. And sure enough, he won because he knew everything.
Awesome.
Wow.
But,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it seems like everybody liked it. I didn't. There wasn't really no negative feedback. Everybody enjoyed it, and like I said, a lot of people got some good prizes.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Very
Sounds like
cool.
a lot of fun.
Hmm?
I'm really jealous that I didn't get to go.
Yeah,
What time was that?
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the convention panel.
And what day was that?
Saturday. So I think the cosplay
that's
stuff is
fine.
all. Yeah.
I don't know what was going on that day. I couldn't see. I was wearing blackout contacts, so it's like walking around the vendor room is like I can't see what I'm looking at. So
Not like the book says. Oscar needs to go do that at ChimeraCon.
Yes, that would be so much fun.
I have no problem as long as there's a big enough room to do that. I've done it at small cons. I do it at Mizumi a lot as well. So I could do it anywhere. We always have a lot of questions, and again, that's a lot of fun because again, the audience gets into it because the audience has something on the line. They're excited because they know the answer. But if I don't pick on them, they're not going to be able to win a prize. And everybody that answered the question correctly got a prize.
Oh, very nice. Very
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
I know.
All E3 swag.
I know we did the Whose Line Is It Anywhere at ChimeraCon this year. That went over pretty well. But that would definitely fit in, and we're gonna try to acquire more space in there to get it done. But no, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it. There's a great question that my go-to difficult question is always sports. It's always sports games. There's always like one game. It's Bill Lambier's Power Basketball. That was a combat basketball. That's one game that has so many potential categories it could be in, and no one knows what it is. And I had one sports question, and the sports question was the the category was data console, which means tell me the year that a console was released. So the sports question was the San Antonio Spurs won their 3rd championship, and this year, the same year, the Xbox 360 was released. So, Vince, do you know what that is?
No clue.
Third championship. Third, not first.
Third championship
Yeah, third championship.
was the same time the first Xbox came out?
The 360.
360.
So the second Xbox, yeah.
So it was 2001?
No, sir.
What was it?
It was 2005.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, you were thinking of the second championship.
Yeah.
No, second championship was 03, then 05, and then 07.
That's right. I would have gotten it wrong.
Yeah. And that's how
But now I know.
get you.
But now I know.
That's how I get you.
But that's a really good one.
Mhm.
Very cool. Do we have anything else that happened on San Japan? Because I heard that the tabletop gaming area was kind of meh. Is there any truth to that?
There more or less wasn't, or at least put it this way, there was not a clearly designated space for such. If you went into the first hall there that everyone thought originally was a deal room and really wasn't, kind of an artist alley, where the TARDIS was, if you go all the way back behind it, you hit a row of tables playing Pokemon and MTG. If you keep going behind that, behind the cordoned off portion of the room where they had the lines for the autograph, behind that there was a series of tables that we all just kind of migrated to. Anyone that either needed someplace to fall over or had a game they wanted to sit down and play. As far as a designated tabletop gaming space, clearly designated as such, I never really saw one. We kind of took up shop at the back end of that room because it had open tables. When we sat down, we ran Apt. I ran Ket. We played Dungeon Roll.
What do people think?
It was great. A lot of positive feedback. But we played Dungeon Roll, which is another Kickstarter project, a really cool pickup game. We played Yggdrasil, all kinds of stuff, and then sat there and started engineering optics for lasers. But it was kind of you kind of had to stumble across it situation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they would see, and they had obviously had backpacks, they had games in their backpack, and were headed that direction. But they'd see the cordons set up that were actually for the autograph lines they weren't running at the time, and they'll see that and go, "Oh, I guess I can't go over there." They'd turn around and split. And I don't think it was just one of those things where it just circumstance. But we played as much as what we could, and promoted as much as we could. We did pick up a few players for different games over the course of the weekend. Some people will be expecting to see at Ankh now, things like that. So it wasn't that it wasn't there. There's really wasn't a designated, or at least well publicized venue. Hey, if you want to do some tabletop, we've got over here. Just a lot of people just kind of wander, going, okay, I don't really know where to go. Oh, I can find this. I know where this one thing is. Let's go do that thing. And then of course, you have so many things going on. There's going to be some overlaps. There's going to be some stuff where conflicts. That's going to happen at any convention. If you have a good schedule, it just means that somebody's going to be doing something at the time they want to be doing.
They're best to break it.
Well, yeah, really.
Very cool. Very cool. Now let me go ahead and run down. Since I wasn't anywhere near y'all, I was in Indianapolis at Gencon. Gencon, where they had over 49,000 attendees. 49,058 attendees. They have it counted already. I was number 58, I guess.
Last one through the door?
Yeah, something like that. No, I got mine like late, like after midnight on Wednesday. I picked up my my badge. But no, that was like gaming galore. Like, it was huge. It was huge. I had calluses and blisters on my feet all weekend. So no, it was really, really awesome. Like I was said, there was gaming galore, gaming everywhere, gaming in the hotels, gaming in the convention center. I got to check out Lucas Stadium. I got to, there was tons of stuff to do there. There was 24/7 werewolf games all the time. Somebody was playing werewolf in the same exact place.
Wow.
So I was like, why did these people come to play werewolf? They come to see their friends. So it was really, really, really awesome. I met a lot of cool game designers. There was I had some guys that were next to me running some demos of Serpent's Tongue, and that was on Kickstarter like last year. And that's kind of like a magic. It's a magic card game, but the cards are like that big. And you actually have to speak the language to activate the spells.
Oh, that's cool.
But that was really interesting. And there's like a game board that you could play along with it. But y'all should really check that out. I think is becomemagi.com. And
awesome.
You'll see Serpent's Tongue there. But it looked really, really cool. I think you can get it for like $45, but it's a big box with room to stick expansions in there. But you'll get the whole box, and it's going to be enough for like 2 players. So no, I was really excited about that. I'm thinking about getting that. Like I said, I met a lot of new game designers, and I was at a bar. When was it? Friday night. And I was just outside, with some other people, and I was standing there, and all of a sudden, then walks in front of me, Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton walks in front of me and asks me, "How do I get in here?" I was like, "Well, how's it going? Hey." So I pull out the card and give him the card to the VIP party, which I got invited to somehow. I had no idea how. No, I do. It's all thanks to J.R. Honeycutt of the Nerd Nighters out in DFW. But yeah, got him inside and drank with him a little bit. So it was pretty awesome. I was kind of almost a little fanboy at that point. Kind of like Pocky D there a little bit. Just kidding. It was really, really cool. So he hung out there playing shuffleboard, and I actually took video of it, but somehow it got deleted. I don't know how that happened. But I do have another video of him playing Star Trek Catan out by the beer gardens at the Mayfair block party. So, but
awesome.
it was like the enlarged version of it. So it was really, really cool. It was great fun. I did a lot of drinking. I met a ton of people. I talked with the CEO of Gencon and got some good information for that to help us out with ChimeraCon. So it went really, really well. They had a real-life dungeon crawl LARP that you would go through. You pay like $30, and you'd like. They have like their monsters that move, and then the sounds, and then they have monsters that come out at you, and then you have to kill them and stuff. And then you get like treasures and stuff that people pay you for because they want to say, "Hey, I got that treasure," and apparently they're paying like $500 for like these little token things. So yeah, it was really, really cool, and it was like non-stop, 24/7 gaming. You could wake up at 3:30 in the morning and there'd be somebody gaming somewhere in the gaming room. They
awesome.
had a play testing area where they had a lot of game designers come in and play test some of their prototypes, and in some cases they would actually sell their prototypes there when they were done with them.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was really, really cool. And I really liked it, and I met Will Wheaton, and it was cool. So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to go study on how to say "bite me, Vince" in Klingon.
Yeah, it would need to be in Klingon. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, and I hope someday y'all get to go and check it out. But there was a lot to do, and I didn't do like even a tenth of it. Because every time there was something really cool to do, there was like 10 other things that you wanted to do as well. But even then, it was just me, and I couldn't really move from where I was. Because I was just playing Apt and meeting people, and it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. I'm happy because of it, because of Pincha Games. I'm happy for ChimeraCon that I got to be there, because I learned a lot. And it was awesome. And I got to see Will Wheaton. So, Oscar.
Good night, kids.
Oscar, so what is OriginalGamer.com?
Well, it's a Will Wheaton fan site, and
yeah, I'm all for it.
All right, so it's my gaming website. We celebrated our 5-year anniversary back in July. And we do news, reviews, articles. I host the Original Gamer podcast. And the whole sort of goal of the site is that we're sort of more towards the core gamer. The news that we comb through the news, we try to get through all the BS and just pick out the stories that we think our readers are going to enjoy. The reviews are done by people that know how to play games. I mean, that may sound facetious, but right now there's a game that came out last week, DuckTales Remastered, and there's multiple reviewers saying it's too hard. It's DuckTales for the NES, and they're saying it's too hard. So those are some of the core reasons why I made the site, because there's just a lot of gamers there's a lot of reviewers out there that are just terrible at games, and they blame the game for being difficult, yet they don't just realize that they suck. And we try to bring everything into it. And we also do interviews, we do articles, a bit of everything. And again, it's designed for more of the core gamer, the gamer that I don't have to tell them what Halo is. I don't have to tell them what Call of Duty is. They know Final Fantasy is from Japan. They get that. That's what our site is for. It's for those people.
Very cool, very cool. So, Original Gamer, OG, is that related to your name, or is that just a coincidence?
No, it is related to my name. I mean, with my initials being OG, it's like, hey, you know what? And I was a big gamer throughout all my life. And right in the 90s, Ice-T came out with the song OG, Original Gangster. And I'm like, I'm like the original gamer. And I just started going with that. It became sort of my gamer tag, and I just went on and on and on with that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll make the site about it.
Very cool, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have a complete gamer news. You have written articles on your site. You have podcasts. You have videos. Do you have something new coming up?
Well, right now, we have a couple. One of the things I do with people that are local, I try to get them on the site, and I try to promote their video features. One of them that's new to our site is Efren. He's the Lone Star Gamer. He does some great interviews. He did one with a player by the name of Fatality, who is the first pro gamer. He makes 6 figures just playing tournaments. So he interviews those kind of esports individuals. So I started featuring his videos on the site. Another guy, local comedian named Mike Suarez. He's my co-host on the podcast, and he's doing his own channel on YouTube, Sorcerer Gamer. We did a Let's Play with me and him playing Charlie Murder, and he's going to try to, since he's a local comedian, he's going to try to get other comedians on to do Let's Plays with him. Maybe some big comedians, I don't know, but he's trying. So he's trying that out. So those are the two things, and there's always a lot of ideas with videos that are in the works. We're just trying to, figure them out.
Very cool. I know there's you that has your kind of like big news side, and there's also Fanboy TV, which we're also a part of. Do you see anything like butting heads, or is there a lot of room for all of y'all?
There's always room. Everybody kind of says, I get constantly people saying that have been in the industry for a while, oh, it's a small industry. It really isn't. I mean, if you got a good quality product, people are going to come and see it, and then all of a sudden you create your own room. Like there's a guy from Sweden, well, he's in Italy now, called PewDiePie. He's a Let's Player, and all of a sudden now he's like the most powerful person in YouTube, and he has 13 million subscribers. But a couple years ago, no one's ever heard of him. He just started doing videos, and boom, he's a success. He created his own spot in the industry.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. One day we hope to be something like that, but that's kind of going to be a ways off.
Don't we all?
Well, so you like video games, but like, what else do you particularly like in like the geek culture? Do you particularly fall under fandoms or?
I'm into a bit of everything. I mean, TV shows, movies. I mean, there's different things here and there. I guess like the geeky thing that I've gotten back into is comic books. I used to be. I had back in middle school and high school, I had hundreds of comic books, and I just threw them all away. I just lost a passion for it, and then here I am. I got a tablet last year, and it works great for comic books, so I jumped back into that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like comic books too.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Well, right now, I don't know if you guys listen to it. There's Kevin Smith has a podcast called Fat Man on Batman.
It's a great show.
Yeah, he designed a podcast to lead up to the Batman Dark Knight Rises movie premiere, but then he just kept on going, and now he just talks about the Batman comic, and now I go on there, and I just every time I listen to it, I just write down the comics they're talking about, so I'm catching up on like all of his comics that he talks about.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, Vivian, you're getting on board because it's about Batman. You're turning red.
I love Batman. I'm Batman. What? if you guys like walked into my room, like seriously, Batman. And Wonder Woman and Poison Ivy. Anyway, so I like this one. Have you heard of any new cool steampunk video games coming about?
Steampunk, I know it's the big deal. I get it. But with steampunk, last year was actually kind of the steampunk year. There was 3 big games. Well, I won't say big. One was big. The other 2 were indie. Guns of Icarus Online and Air Buccaneers. These were multiplayer airship games that were people got into. The big one that was our game of the year last year was Dishonored. It's steampunk, but they call it whale oil punk, because it's whale oil that kind of fuels everything, not steam and not diesel. It's whale oil, but it's steampunk. Yeah. So that was our game of the year, and that one's like as about a steam. That to me is real steampunk, good steampunk. And there's a bunch of other like smaller titles that have been trying to do it, and I think there's gonna be some other titles. But last year was kind of a good year, and there's probably gonna be some smaller indie titles coming up that'll do it. I haven't heard anything big yet.
I still have to play like all of those. So I'm almost so behind the times, but definitely Dishonored looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dishonored, it has a whole it has that Victorian feel to it, and it has like all these very cool weapons, but it still feels, it has that sort of setting to it that makes it work.
Yeah, I have like an odd gamer thing. Is like I tend to play games later, but I'll watch all the gameplays for it. So I've seen the first like half hour of all of those games. So anyway, and so recently they released the information about the Xbox One or PS4. Which one are you?
Well, I can tell you now that I pre-ordered my PS4.
Yay!
What happened? Because I was there at E3, where they actually showed them off, and what's going on right now? My whole philosophy on it is that with the PS4, Sony came out and said, "Here's what it is. Here's the games. Here's the special features, and there we go. It's going to be coming out $400, and the date now is November 15th." What Microsoft did was that, and I kind of realized Microsoft sort of treated the Xbox One like they're treating the Surface, where it's like, hey, of course people are going to buy this because it's like better than the rest of the stuff. So let's not focus on the stuff that they know. They know it's going to have games. So let's focus on how it's going to be like your cable box, like how it's going to have your own TV guide in it. Let's focus on how it's going to how you're going to use it for Skype. Because you want to see people while you're playing. You want to see video, and let's focus on how it's going to be voice activated. Because no one wants to use a controller. So Microsoft was putting all this out there to try to say, "Hey, this is what you want," and everybody said no. And then they said, "We're just kidding. This is what you want, right?" And then they said no again. And then finally they're listening. So now everything's coming together where the Xbox One is looking like a solid system. I mean, I didn't doubt it was going to be solid, but they were trying all these little tactics to kind of that was going to be better for them, not for the gamer, and you can kind of tell early on. And now they're kind of switching things up. So, but my money is still on the PS4 because it is still cheaper, and I need to get one of the consoles when they come out.
True story.
I kind of agree with that line of thought too. And there's the thing that we brought up before, or at least I know I brought up with Mike Brown, etc. I call it the Microsoft mistake, because what they will typically do is, at least Sony will spend the time going through actual product testing. They'll go through development. They'll make sure they've got a spot-on, polished product before it hits the market. Not saying there's not going to be needs for patches. Not saying there aren't going to be problems. Not saying they're having problems with the PlayStation Network, etc. But their hardware, they at least try to make sure that they're ready to go to market when they go, even if they have to push that back. Where Microsoft, on pretty much all of their product, really relies on using the end user as their beta tester. And it's like, we'll fix everything once it's on the market.
Yes and no. I mean, that definitely was with the 360, but the 360, it had 3 or 4 years of Red Ring. But the reason for that was because they rushed it. They put it out in 2005. And remind you, 2001 was when they released the first Xbox. So 4 years later, now they're releasing the new one. And that 4-year development time, from 2001 to like 2003, they were just saying, hey, we're here, we're the Xbox, look at us, woohoo! And then they had to work on the new one, and they just said, hey, put everything really powerful in there and make it really small. And they forget, like, heat comes into play, and all of a sudden motherboards are melting, and here comes the Red Ring. So I think that they just jumped the gun there, but...
That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
Just rather than doing the development, we'll just throw it out there, let's get it on the market, and then we'll worry about the consequences later. And really, honestly, Red Ring in particular never should have happened for a company that had been dealing with motherboard architecture already for 10, 15 years.
Yeah. But the PS2 had a lot of problems, and the PS3 not so much, but still had problems. The orange light of death, that's what it's called for the PS3. So that had problems. Not as extensive to where Microsoft had to give 2 years of extra warranty to everybody because of the Red Ring, but Sony has had problems as well. So they're both this past generation, the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii, I call it the generation of mistakes because they just kept on screwing up big time, each and every one of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So I've got a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to do a quick shout out to J.R. Honeycutt from the Nerd Nighters over there in DFW. He's on right now. Say hi to everybody. Say hi, JR. Hi, JR.
Hey, JR. How's it going, man? I see Julia, too.
Yeah, I saw Julia.
Their show is on Tuesday nights at 8:30 to 10. So, yeah, definitely go check them out. The Nerd Nighters. Go. I'm sorry, you were saying, Mike?
No, that's great. I'm glad to see them stopping by. I I had a question for you. What can you tell us about Extra Life, Oscar?
Well, Extra Life, it's based out of Houston. It's a, I always describe it as, think of like how like a 25K walkathon is, where people pledge $1 a mile. Well, in this case, for Extra Life, you want to get people to pledge $1 an hour that you play games. So it's a 24-hour gaming marathon, and you go through, and it's all about just trying to raise money. It's for the Children's Miracle Network. So, the last time we did it, it was for the Santa Rosa Children's Hospital, and we raised a couple thousand for them. So it's a good time where everybody can get together, raise some money, play some games, and you try to get that to that 24-hour mark. It's hard because you're there playing games, and it's 12 hours in. And you're like, wow, I could use a break, and then you think about the kids, and no, I'm gonna play.
Did we lose him? You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost that last part.
The last part. So gaming. No. We try to do. You don't have to go to a place to do it. You can do it at home. The thing is, you got to raise your own money. You got to go out there. You gotta talk to your family. You got to talk to your friends. You got to talk to random strangers. Just say, hey, this is going for a good. It's going for a good charity, and would you pledge money? And that's what you're trying to do. And in the end, you're playing games for charity. That's what the beauty of it is.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's something we'd like to get involved in. That might actually something we're looking for an upcoming charity actually for Ankh. So have to see what we can put together there too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's great. Those guys
so.
I've talked to the guys there. They're really cool. They'll help you out setting it up. They'll tell you exactly what you need. It's the Extra Life website. I believe it's extra-life.org.
Perfect. Fantastic. Well, you're gonna have to find the perfect game to sit there and play for that many hours in a row. What's your favorite video game of all time, Oscar? I know it's hard to pick a favorite child, but
well, it's ever since I played this game, it's always been my favorite, and I always put it sort of hands down. And a lot of people don't even know what it is. So it's for the Sega Saturn, and it's a game called Shining Force 3. I'll explain myself real quick. So with Shining Force, when I was back in I think it came out when I was in 7th grade, I always wanted an RPG, because I played all the RPGs on the NES and Super Nintendo, but I wanted an RPG that had tons of characters that you could play at once, and that's what Shining Force is. You have a dozen characters on the battlefield at once, and you go out and it's all tactical. It's a strategy RPG. It was one of the first ones. I played that as a kid. I played through it straight in 72 hours. I loved it. I wanted to play it again, but I rented it from that Hollywood Video, and they never had it again. And then Shining Force 2 came out, and I had that. And then third one came out. I saw it. I went to this place called Game Fellas. They had a Saturn, and they had that. And I said, give me both. And I got them both, and I took them home, and I played it, and it's just amazing because it has it has tons of characters. It has this fun gameplay where you could use special abilities, and you have your friends helping you out. And there's these great scenarios where there's multiple. The battlefield is split up in multiple sections. You got to work your way through. But the stuff that still it blows my mind still is that the U.S. only got one part of it. There's 3 parts of Shining Force 3. We only got part 1. There's actually 2 other parts that I can't get my hands on because it's all in Japanese. And there's translations, and I've always tried to work them. I've never been able to get them to work. But that itself was so good, and I still love it, and there's still 2 other parts out there. So it literally just blows my mind when I think that, oh my god, it's still out there. I need to play them.
Isn't the Sega Saturn the only one that can play the copied games like straight off?
You're thinking of the Dreamcast. Yeah, the Dreamcast.
Oh, the Dreamcast. That's the one that does it. Okay.
The Saturn came out after the Genesis, after the Sega CD, and it came out first before the PlayStation. Problem was with the Saturn was that it was just too hard to develop for, but it had a lot of amazing games that everybody overlooked because there was a PlayStation, there was a Nintendo 64. So the Saturn is totally overlooked, but if you look at the games, there's games on there that are like $300, $400, $500 because they're rare and they're great.
Awesome.
Very good, very good. I like to give. JR says we're doing extra live events in DFW for board gaming. Would love to work with you guys. That's something definitely we can work out, JR. Just let us know, and we'll go over some notes. And I got to get you on the show here pretty soon. So give me a note, and we'll get together and get you on the show. It'll be awesome. We'll go crazy like always, like we do in Gen Con, where we see Will Wheaton and meet with him and drink with him, and you buy him a beer. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Back on. You have anything else, sir?
Who, me?
Mike?
I do have one more question for you. Tabletop gaming, what are you into?
Beer pong. Does that count?
Absolutely.
All right. And I'm level 25 on beer pong.
Awesome. Yeah, what's your beer pong gamer tag?
Drunk gamer.
Wow, you got in early.
Yeah, drunk gamer 32.
Very creative, yeah.
But yeah, tabletop is it's unfortunate that my thing. I may get disconnected right now magically for some reason, but it's it's like just ever since my mom was pregnant with me when she was playing in the arcade, so it's kind of been in the bloodstream ever since I was born.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the Mother 3 and 4 fan translations?
Well, I played Mother 3, and it's pretty amazing. The way they did it was that they had some people that actually do translations. They had them working it because Mother 3 came out in Japan for the Game Boy Advance, but Nintendo said, Americans don't like games. So so they had to do them themselves. So now what's happening with Mother 4 is that there's a whole project, and they're just redoing they're creating a whole game. It's not a translation. Nintendo stopped at Mother 3, so they're basically trying to take it upon themselves to create a whole thing. And I love the idea. It's hard to say if it's going to work because the creator of the Mother series, he's very sort of quirky guy. So I don't know if it's going to work. But the other big problem is Nintendo doesn't like people using their stuff. They're definitely big on throwing that cease and desist out there. So good luck to them if they actually could get it out. I'm betting that it's not because, yeah, Nintendo's going to throw it out there.
Weak.
Yeah, it's what they do.
I hate when that happens. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that we try to ask every single. I have to say try to ask because I missed one where I asked a guest.
Yes.
If we're in a zombie apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
and you could put one geeky item in your bug out bag, what would that geeky item be and why?
All right. So I've done my share of zombie apocalypse games. So I'm very familiar with this apocalypse. Now, one geeky item. So I would have to say, let me think about it. Geeky item. The geeky item. That's sort of the tricky thing. I would have to go with. I'm trying to think. There was like a. Oh, geez, what was it? It would have to be. Now I can't think of it. I was thinking like I think I saw it at a store once, and that would have been great. It would. You know what? I'm just gonna go with The Walking Dead, and I'm just gonna say Ninja Sword, because in the end, that's gonna be the best way to decapitate the most amount of zombies without really having to get that close. I mean, the bigger, let's put samurai sword, katana. Make it a long one, a long katana, and I think that'll work.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Mike, are you set up with any gamer news this week?
I do have a bit of gamer news I'd like to share. Oddly enough, through an article that came on through the TED Talks. Have any of you guys heard of a game project called Super Better?
No. What is it?
Nope.
What Super Better is it's actually a daily quest kind of a game. It's very much done in the RPG achievement style. It's available on the iOS. It's available to be played on the web browser as well. And what it actually is it's developed by a doctoral student who suffered a massive brain injury during her tenure in school. Went from being one of the top students in to having to struggle to get through, and it's just kind of her applying her knowledge of how she managed to work her way back through recovery. So the concept of the game is there's many tasks, accomplishments you can gain each day, very tongue-in-cheek, very much in the vein of old style achievement type games. And they say that just by doing these little things each day, it only takes about 15 minutes to play a day, that it actually starts improving your life outside the game. The purpose is to increase your not only cognition but your ambition, your ability to set goals, focus on goals, achieve goals, improve your health, improve your education, improve your relationships with people. And it's actually driven purely for the end goal is to improve your real life outside of the game. So they say that just doing the daily work on the game, so it actually makes such an impact on your health and on your mental health that it can actually start adding about 7 minutes per day to your life. So that over the course of a lifetime playing this game, you can add up to 10 years to your expected lifespan. So the game, it's pretty fascinating. Now, it's a real mind over matter kind of thing. I haven't played the game yet, but out of sheer curiosity, I am going to be setting up an account with it and going forwards just to see explore this a little bit more. Sometimes just something as simple as getting your head in the right mind space, changing that focus, and quantifying the things that do go well in your life, I've found to be massively impactful. That's even what Chris Hardwick wrote his book, The Nerdist Way, around that whole thing about basically designing your life and your goals as an RPG, and treating yourself, by drawing up your own character sheet and going through. As silly as it is, it's a lot of fun, and it really does a lot of, wow, I did pull this thing off. I did accomplish this thing. Oh, wow, things are changing. So I think it's something worth exploring. Again, I think it's just superbetter.com is the URL. It's worth checking out, and I will be reporting back on that also, just as I get more experience with it, and to see what we find out.
Yeah,
if nothing else, cool. It's a cool experiment. Go experiment.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I remember that TED Talk. It was about gamifying your life, kind of, sort of, where it was like, hey, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get an achievement point, and you go on and on and on. The basis for it on why they did it was that they said how people with the Nissan Leaf. Inside the Nissan Leaf, there's a little indicator that's a tree, and if your fuel mileage is great, then the tree sort of blooms. It sort of goes green. But if you go too fast and if your fuel mileage goes down, it sort of starts browning up and it starts losing leaves. And then they noticed that because of that, people were driving better. People were being more. They recognized when they were wasting fuel, and they were actually saving fuel. So that was kind of the basis for it, and it's been something that a lot of people have been talking about in my whole gaming sector about let's gamify life.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. Just wanted to do a few things from the chat. We have Pocky D that's going to be on his own. He's on his own podcast now called Graveyard Shift. So y'all should definitely talk about that. Take a look, see that, because you're only going to hear it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Hear it. Go
English hard.
Go there. I posted the link for you to go check it out. He talks about customizable boobs, and it's going to be an awesome MMO. But yeah, go for it. I'm proud of you, Pocky D. Glad you did that. Also, JR wants to talk about Ket. Real bad.
What you want to talk about, JR, or when, rather? Yeah, absolutely. I love Ket. Absolutely love Ket. I can't say enough about it. That's my product placement. I stick that in every week. Are you familiar with that game, Oscar?
No, I sure am not.
It's because it's a tabletop game.
Exactly.
Well,
that's why.
There's an electronic version now too, though. It's available on Android and Apple. The concept of the game, you're actually using live class two-way lasers and a series of Egyptian-themed opaque and mirrored pieces to bounce a live laser around a game board to try to take out your opponent's pharaoh, like taking a king in chess. So it plays a lot like chess as far as its look, its feel, its general mechanic. But the piece movement is far more simplified. It plays a lot more like checkers in that regard. We pride ourselves in the fact that we can actually teach Ket in under 3 minutes. Now, for a game you can teach in under 3 minutes that's as massively replayable as this is pretty fascinating. I've been playing this game now for over 3 years. I still giggle when I open the box every week. I can't get enough of it. This is just so much fun. We did the tournament this past weekend. We're going to be doing charity tournaments over the next year. We're probably going to Photonics West in San Diego next year, and that's the world's largest trade convention for medical and scientific lasers. And the convention is actually going to be held on the 50th anniversary of the invention of the laser. And I'm going to be helping Invention Toys, the manufacturers of Ket, to actually run the first event out there for actual laser scientists.
Very cool. I hear y'all are going to be at Table in DFW. Is that right?
Yes, we are going to be a part of Table. I've still got to get with Tiffany. We're supposed to be doing a video here soon, but yeah, we will be a part of that. We'll be bringing Ket to the north of Texas here as soon as we possibly can, as a matter of fact.
Cool. So JR, if you want to go check it out, he'll be there at Table. Or if you want to bring him on your show, definitely let us know, and we'll see what we can set up. It's a little bit later in ours, so you'll probably make it there on time this time. I'm just messing with you. Do we have any new? What are the next events coming up? Where are we going to be going?
I've got, of course, Casual Ket Night tomorrow night at Dragon's Lair.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be setting up. The next thing I think that we've got booked is we're going to be setting up an Austin Ket Day at Dragon's Lair Austin. Probably in October. I think it's going to be the first Saturday of October. We're still waiting to hear back from Aaron to settle up dates on that. And we'll have the Austin City Championship coming up probably in early December.
I can't actually think of anything. This is kind of our school season, so since a lot of my crew is college students, I don't book as many cons. But I might be doing a lot more with the Sirens and stuff like that, so I'll be posting that as it comes up, and I'll let y'all know.
I'm sure they'll all be watching if you're going to be with the Sirens. I know whatchamacallit is coming up is the Lone Star Con, the World Con that's coming here to San Antonio.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there. It's the largest sci-fi convention here in the world.
When is that?
So it's going to be here in San Antonio. It's going to be on the 29th. It's going to be the Labor Day weekend. You should go.
It's my birthday.
That would be
birthday weekend.
That would be an awesome birthday present.
I know. I love
you.
sci-fi.
Isn't George Takei going to be at the Dragon Slayer in Austin?
Yes. I can post that information up there.
Oh my.
Actually, Mike, you posted it first, right?
I did, but I can.
Event?
Yeah, I did, but I'll do it again.
Didn't George Takei say something on Facebook about one of our councilwomen?
It was Elsa Chan, District 9. There was the Express News posted a story that they had some audio recordings with her and her staff talking about there's a whole ordinance that they're passing, well, that they want to pass, that says if you're gay or transgender or LBGT, that you can run for office. And most people were saying, hey, that's not a problem, but she's against it, and her staff was just talking about it, just gays shouldn't be married, gays shouldn't adopt, and she made just some ridiculous comments. So yeah, it got to him, and of course he put his little fan base in motion to put that out there that we need to get rid of her.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for
Thanks a
George
lot.
Takei, too.
Mm-hmm.
He also rates positive stuff about everybody, and I mean, that must have been really bad to have pissed him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably not going to get voted back in. If not, somebody's going to try to take her out. So that wasn't very cool. You make us look like it's back in the old days.
Well, you know what's funny is that last week in Katie Couric, they had a families that are growing up with kids, gay couples that are growing up with kids, and they brought up the fact that San Antonio is like the #1 city for gay couples with kids. So yeah, kind of.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
We're a very liberal city within a very conservative state. And actually we had talked about this in the social issues panel. We brought it up. It was like, there's no studies that say that there's any difference. In fact, that, these are planned adoptions. These, gay couples go through an extraneous process because they can't have kids by themselves. They can, but, But adoption is the best option, and or sometimes the best option, depending on the person. But there's no research to back up that it's a negative effect, though they're trying to find a reason behind it. So, I mean, there's really no real evidence that would say such things. It's just all people just opinionated.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Oscar, we're a bit over time, but thank you so much for coming in and being our guest. You're an awesome, awesome guest. I can't wait to have you on again. So let me go ahead and close it out. I'm Vince.
Vivian.
Mike.
And go ahead and geek out, SA.